All right, so we're gonna clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna start putting these back in. This is our height that we're going to. Obviously, as I was saying, this was a bit of a trip step. You can see here. We just want to bring it up to that, but we also have to. Obviously, we have two heights that we have to worry about, here and here. So whatever this is and whatever this is, that's what we're gonna work to. Obviously, we're gonna keep it flat within reason. We're gonna stick to that. What I like to do with something like this. This is a very skinny, long repair. I'll start from one side. Let's get our sand. May not need too much of this sand, we'll see. I like to start from one side, work my way across. Remember, before we left this in, we're gonna pull this out, put it right back in now. I was going to start here, but since I have this piece, we'll worry about this later. Since I have this other cut piece here, I'm gonna start with this. So let's see what sham we have to add here. Get our trusty float. Just to give me a little bit. Now with the float, it takes a little bit of feel over time. You get better with it. Once I have my height, let's see how we're looking here. Still got to come up a decent amount. Once I have my height, I can use my float to do most of the work, take out most of the guesswork as far as height goes. I'll explain more as we get into it here. So we have to come up a decent amount on this end here. It actually gets better as we go. For now, going with the hand, we'll do a little compaction just to make sure there's not too much settling over time. Okay. Let's see if we're getting close here. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. Now, because I put a decent amount of sand here, I use my brick as like a makeshift tamper. See, we brought it down a little bit. Take that back out. I have a little bit more sand. Once I get this established, I'll establish these two. I can kind of get an idea of what I'm going to have for the rest of the way down here. Again, this is very irregular with the cobblestone, so it makes it a little more difficult as far as knowing exactly what height. Now, if I had two flat surfaces, a flat surface here and a flat surface here, I would do one of two things. I would set myself up a line so that I can easily do it. But with a skinny thing like this, I pretty much typically do it by hand. I'll use a float and sand and get them in as I go. There's no real, not much of a time saved by doing it in that way. Okay. Oh God, where did I put my cut? There we go. This cut's gonna go back in where we got it. Now, because of how screwy this is over here, we're not going to take this out. This is cemented in. The homeowner doesn't want to go crazy and start pulling out all this stuff. He just wants to get rid of this. So we're going to have to kind of feather this in a little bit here. I may end up just tipping this up a hair, maybe trying to get some of this down, just so it's not a super harsh transition here. This brick is cemented in pretty good. So for now, bring this cut down a bit. Here, and I'll take a 2x4 or my level, and I'll get out anywhere that could possibly have water, hold water here. We don't want anything. We don't want to cause problems when we're doing this. We're going to fix them. So very easy. Any homeowner can do this kind of stuff. It just takes a little practice, a little patience. Things that most of us don't have. That's all right. So now, just by what I know I have here, I'm going to kind of eye this up. If I got any underbrush. I don't want to clean that brush. Okay, get our float. I'll do a little compaction with the float just to help us along the way. We don't have any settling. I like to go along with the float, and I'll flatten an area like this out that I know it's a hair low, and then I'll throw just a little bit by hand on there so that I can bring it down to where I want it. Let's get some more in here, in the way. So over time with something like this, with any pavers, you start to get stuff coming in the joints. So as you can see right here, you start to get things growing in there. That's staying in this entire area. So it's actually bringing it up for us a little bit. We want to get any roots or anything like that. We don't want this stuff growing out, but any sand that was in the joints, we don't want to over add sand that we have to, you know, end up taking anything out, or we're really beating it with our hammer. So let's get back on this end. Again, we left this cut in. We popped out this cut, but we left this in here. So we know as we run this, we're not going to have to modify anything as we get down to that, and we're not going to be making any cuts or anything like that. This is coming out and going right back in the way it came out. So, okay. With this, we're going to, as we go, kind of work it. Again, this is cobblestone, so the cobblestone dips and dives and moves all over the place on you. So we have two heights that we have to hit, here and here. So far, I'm liking where this is. I can beat it down a little bit as I go. Throw a couple more of these in. Now, there's areas like this. I wouldn't normally leave something like this. In this circumstance, I have no choice.